Have you heard the big news? I'm fighting the Jake Paul brothers. Austin the Daniel Dover versus Jake and Logan Paul. Logan Paul first, and then Jake. Now, they don't know this yet, but the fight's going down. I think they'll take the fight. I'm the perfect opponent for them. They're going to realize that their fans aren't accepting these matches they're taking. They do this thing called alchemy. Alchemy is like magic, but it's an illusion. And they've fallen for the illusion. They think the fights are real. They're YouTubers. There's a couple things on YouTube that are still real, but most of the things on YouTube are fake. They're just video productions. Hollywood has just taken over YouTube, and it's just become a Hollywood production. So have you seen those videos of the guys with the machetes out there making the pools, and then they take the bamboo sticks, and then they fill the pool, and they paint the bottom of the pool blue? You know you can't paint dirt. Have you seen that one? I think it's called Primitive Unique Tools. There's a couple of them. Faker than fake. Faker than fake. People think it's real. People think Dude Perfect is real. The guys take a ball and they throw it at a basket. Oh, they make it. Oh, wow, they make it. That's real? That's real. Just because you tell me something is real doesn't mean I have to believe that it's real. And people go, well, why isn't it real? Prove it to me. Prove it to me. That means that's your God. You've already accepted without proof that that's real. If I showed you a video and you're on the team of science and you're on the team of government, you're going to go, oh, I don't, prove it to me. Prove it. You're going to do the same thing I'm doing. You're going to follow religion. They call themselves influencers. Now, really what they are is priests. They're influencing your spirit. They're influencing your emotions to then connect to the reality. And then it becomes them. It's a vampirism game they're doing. It's a trick. And it's not real. No, it's kind of real. Like, boxing is fake. But it's not fake. It's promoted as if it's a fight. It's not a fight. Therefore, I call it fake. Boxing is a form of dancing. There's so many rules in boxing that it's not fighting anymore. If I punch you, all you have to do is run up and grab me, and then the ref stops the fight and separates us. It's not a fight. It's a dance. And they move around. And guys like Floyd Mayweather are great at it because they're great at manipulating the rules of that fight. Now, Floyd's, he's a good dancer. He's a good athlete. But he's not a fighter. He's not a tough guy. He's not like Roy Jones Jr. or Oscar De La Hoya or Evander Holyfield or Mike Tyson. They were fighters. Mike Tyson didn't know he wasn't that good. His promoters would be like, hey, Mike, you're not that good, so we can't have you just taking every fight out there. Roy Jones Jr. is willing to fight everybody, so he's a tough guy. But he just happens to be in a sport that is rigged to get a result to make more money. The government runs combat sports. Now, MMA has come along, and they made it as real as it can be, as real as it gets. That's their slogan. That's the UFC slogan. And that's where we're going to have to do this fight. And I think they'll take it because, one, I think they want to do MMA. I think they've fallen for the illusion that they're real fighters. Boxing isn't real. It's just not a real fight. It's fake. And on top of that, they're fighting ex-professional fighters that are carrying them. I'm a gym fighter. I've been in and out of the gyms for quite some time now. No, I'm not very good. I'm not that very good in the eyes of professionals. But, as an average Joe, I'm pretty good. I was going to fight Joe Rogan a couple years ago. Now, I called Joe Rogan out for being a fake Hollywood tough guy. Now, he's a real tough guy. But compared to, the real fighters of the world, the John Joneses and the George St. Pierres and, TJ Dillashaw, these real fighters, he's not at that level. And he knows that. He knows that. Chuck Norris wasn't, in the ring fighting guys, but he was in the practice room fighting guys, and then he was doing movies fighting guys and adding a few real moves in the movies. But the celebrities themselves, they think that the movie fighting is real. They don't understand it's fake. Joe knows, it's fake. He even talks about it on his show. He talks about fake fighting all the time. He knows that he's not as good as these professionals. Now, I wanted to show the world that. And Joe makes fun of me on his show, and he made fun of me at his comedy show, and he didn't give me credit, which made me mad. So I was like, hey, Joe, we're going to fight. Dana vetted me, and they wanted to see if I could actually fight. And Eddie vouched for me, and some guys, you know, that had seen me fight, they're like, okay, yeah, he can fight. Like, he's, you know, as a professional, no, he's not at that level, but he's, you know, he can fight. And they're like, you got to be careful, though, because if you put him in the room with Joe, he's going to fight Joe. Because they didn't know the backstory that I was mad at Joe because he, you know, basically stole money from me. He did a scumbag move. Now, I moved on from that from Joe. Joe and I, that's water under the bridge. Joe turned down the fight. Joe didn't want to do it. He was going to do it. We were even, you know, across the room from each other. And Dana was willing to make the fight, and Joe just didn't want to do it. And I said, you know what, Joe? Just whatever. You're a scumbag. And you're a liar, but, you know, whatever. You sold out, you know, for money and fame and whatever, man. If people want to believe that you're a real fighter, then that's on them. But now we got these new two guys doing it. They're doing the same thing Joe Rogan did. They're acting like, you know, tough guys. And they're fake tough guys. And it drives me insane. It drives me insane. Now, I think they'll be willing to try to prove to people that they're real tough guys. I don't think they'll ever get in the room with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, you know, he'll fight you. He'll fight you on the street. But that fight won't happen because, you know, Nate Diaz is going to jail for a street fight. They probably knew that about Nate. They're like, oh, this will get a headline. We'll say we're fighting Nate Diaz. The next thing you know, Nate will get thrown in jail because, you know, he'll come to their fights to, like, heckle him to, you know, add promotion, and then he'll fight him. He'll fight him right there, and he'll get thrown in jail. Nate's a street fighter. I'll fight you. I will fight you, and I will fight you to prove to you that you're not a real fighter. All you have to do is get in the octagon with me, and that proves that, you know, you're a real fighter. You're willing to fight someone at your own skill level. I am at your skill level. We did find out recently that Jake Paul is not very good. He fought another fake fighter who had fought like 5 times before against people with losing records, and they fought in a fake sport, and Jake Paul lost to him. He fought a pillow puncher, you know, that throws decent form. Like, he does have a good rhythm. He does, you know, throw fluid combinations, and he does move decently, but, you know, he has no snap to his punches, and he's not very quick, and he's not tough, and he has no power. He is just a pillow puncher. The Jake Paul brothers, you know, you can tell they don't have much. They don't have much tools. It's jab, jab, throw a haymaker. Jab, jab, throw a haymaker. They're going to like the sport of MMA. I can already tell they just generally like to grapple. Every time they throw a punch, they just go and clinch. And that's what they're going to do to me. He's going to try to take me down. I'm going to knock him out. I've grappled a lot, but my strength is in stand-up. And he's going to see me. He's going to see, you know, he's going to see my hands and go, oh, I can beat that guy. And he's going to think he can beat me because he's accepted the lie. You accept the lie, and when you live under a lie, you just never accept the truth. You create this reality for yourself that becomes a box. It becomes a prism. It becomes this thing that you can't escape, and it's called insanity. And you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, accepting a different result. And it's because of your pride, because of your ego, because you just want people to say, I'm so great, I'm so great, I'm so great. And you forgot the fact that you're related to David Rockefeller, you're from Ohio, and that you're an aristocrat, and you have Mrs. Allen promoting your show for you, and they're censoring everybody else, and they're shadow banning everybody else, and then you're going out and, you know, staging some fights, and then you're trying to produce your own life like Mrs. Allen produced your show, and you're trying to create a fake life for yourself. You're trying to, you know, get people to think that you're a real fighter, that you're a real tough guy. Everybody knows you're not. After the Fury fight, everybody knows that you're not good. So come fight, you know, someone at your skill level to prove to everybody that, you know, you're at least a tough guy. You know, some people are like, oh, he's just not that good now. But, you know, they still think you're tough. Well, come fight me. Come fight me. And we're fighting in the octagon. I'll take your big brother first because he's a little better than you. And then I want Jake Paul because he fakes fights.